There's a quiet transformation unfolding, not in politics or business, but deep within the human soul. More and more of us are beginning to question something we've long taken for granted, the true nature of reality. We've been raised to believe the world is a fixed, external stage where cause and effect unfold around us out of our hands. We're taught to chase achievement, to fix problems, to respond to life as passive observers of a system we can't change. But what if none of that is entirely true? What if reality isn't something happening to you, but something flowing through you? The illusion of a fixed world is compelling. It's echoed in science books, cultural myths, and even the advice of those who mean well. We're urged to be practical, to plan, to accept life as it appears. But within you, there's always been a quiet tension, a sense that life is far more fluid, more wondrous, more interconnected than logic alone can capture. That sense isn't naive. It's the whisper of truth. Modern physics is now hinting at what ancient hearts already knew. Reality isn't solid and cold, it's dynamic. It's a field, a boundless ocean of possibility, reacting in real time to your thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs. In this light, what you experience around you is not a snapshot frozen in time. It's more like a living mirror, reflecting not only your actions, but the unseen vibrations of your inner world. Can you sense the shift already? That subtle feeling that you're not just living in a world, but helping to shape it. This isn't fantasy or wishful thinking. It's the power of conscious perception. It's realizing that the reality you've grown accustomed to might just be a pattern, one you've unconsciously agreed to repeat. The patterns of doubt, of past wounds, of inherited beliefs telling you what's possible or not, these aren't fixed laws. Like any pattern, they can be rewritten, not through control, but through awareness. And when that awareness sets in, reality shifts. It becomes close, malleable, sacred. This doesn't mean hardship will vanish, but it means you'll meet hardship differently, with a knowing that you are not powerless, not separate from the source that breathes life into all things. You may wonder, if this is true, why don't more people live this way? Because awakening isn't demanded, it's chosen. It calls for surrendering certainty, loosening control, and embracing the present. The real question becomes, are you willing to let go of who you thought you had to be, so who you truly are can rise? Many aren't. Not yet. But you're here. You're hearing these words because something within you is already ready. And this is where the shift begins. Not by changing what's outside, but by changing how you see, feel, and believe within. And once that change begins, the field responds with grace, with harmony, with precision. The quantum field. It sounds abstract, like something reserved for scientists and labs. But what if it's not only real, but present right now, surrounding and flowing through you? What if it's not to be studied at a distance, but lived, breathed, and shaped through you? Let's rethink reality for a moment. We've been taught that matter, tables, buildings, even our bodies, is solid. But when science zooms in, it finds vast space. At the smallest level, what appears solid is mostly emptiness. And the bits that remain aren't chunks. They're waves, pulses, possibilities. Now, pause. You are not made of rigid matter. You are made of energy, of pattern, of light. You are a ripple in an ocean of divine intelligence. And so is everything else. This field, the unseen design beneath all form, is not foreign to you. It is the thread that connects your body, your thoughts, your relationships, your emotions. It is not far away. It is the very weave of your being. Picture this field as a vast ocean of unshaped potential. In it, everything is possible, yet nothing has yet become. When your focused attention meets heartfelt emotion, one potential crystallizes into form. It's not about force, it's about alignment. When you dwell in fear or scarcity, you shape your experience to match. But when you rest in gratitude and trust, in the awareness of divine provision, you invite a different reality to unfold. Not always instantly, not always in a straight line, but inevitably because the field answers to energy, not exhaustion. This is why your inner world matters more than your effort. You can't outperform your vibration. You can't fake peace from a place of fear. This field doesn't respond to languages, it responds to frequency. It moves in coherence. It listens to how you feel, more than what you say. Have you ever entered a room and sensed someone's energy before they even spoke? That's the field. Have you thought of someone only to receive their call moments later? That's the field. Have you sensed something was wrong, even when everything looked right? That's the field. You've always been connected. You always will be. But now you're invited to engage with it intentionally. Where in your life are you waiting for proof before believing? That's the old model of reality. I'll believe it when I see it. But here, the sacred design whispers the opposite. You'll see it when you believe it. And belief isn't just a thought. It's alignment. It's a frequency. It's a quiet surrender to the truth that the creator of this vast, elegant design is not absent, but present, not distant, but near, and waiting gently, patiently for you to remember. When you believe something deeply, your entire being starts to resonate with that truth. Your heart, your mind, your very presence begin to broadcast a harmonious signal. And because the universe is divinely responsive, it starts reflecting that signal back to you. This isn't fantasy. It's how creation works. But here's where it becomes truly profound. You don't need to change the universe. You only need to shift the signal you're sending into it. If you begin each day expecting struggle, carrying past disappointments into a new dawn, you're releasing a signal of confusion, and the Creator's system doesn't judge. It simply responds with precision. But if instead you begin with a sacred question, what goodness is already unfolding for me today? Your signal becomes pure. You attract alignment, not because you found a trick, but because you've remembered your true nature. Everything in existence is energy, but not all energy is alike. High-frequency states, love, awe, gratitude, joy, aren't just emotionally pleasant. They create radiant waves within your heart's electromagnetic field that influence your entire being. Low-frequency states, shame, fear, guilt, create fragmentation. When you truly understand this, you stop condemning emotions and start reading them as guidance. You ask, is this the signal I wish to amplify into creation? The divine cannot be deceived. You may recite empowering words endlessly, but if your heart vibrates with fear or control, your signal will still be distorted. This is why many struggle to manifest joy. They speak prosperity while feeling unworthy, visualize success while bracing for failure. Pause here. Feel this in your soul. If the quantum realm is shaped by frequency and frequency by thought and emotion, then your consciousness becomes the craftsman of your experience, an unseen artist painting reality with invisible strokes. And here begins the quiet revolution. Your beliefs aren't just mental habits. They are energetic templates, silently constructing the boundaries of your life. The narratives you tell yourself become the doors and walls of your experience. The thoughts you rehearse become instructions whispered into the design of creation. But most of us never question what we believe. We inherit belief systems, internalize them, protect them, and suffer quietly under their weight. What were you taught to believe about love? About your worth? About what you're allowed to dream? These beliefs become your vibrational baseline, not because they're truths, but because they're familiar. And the familiar often feels safe, even if it hurts. But hear this clearly, it's not your fault. Your nervous system is built for survival, not expansion. It clings to the known instead of reaching for the divine possibilities of the unknown. Yet your soul, your true consciousness, yearns to evolve, to break cycles and remember what you truly are, a co-creator, not a captive. You weren't born to repeat patterns. You were born to rewrite them. So what do you genuinely believe is possible for your life? This isn't just a thought exercise, it's a sacred question. Because the universe doesn't echo back what you hope. It responds to what you truly embody. You may declare, "I am whole," while subconsciously feeling broken, and that inner dissonance sends static into the divine system. To truly transform your life, your conscious desire must harmonize with your deeper truth. This is the essence of coherence. And coherence is the true language of creation. Here lies the paradox. To fully believe in a new reality, you often must release the desperation to see it instantly. Why? Because desperation flows from lack, and lack is a frequency. When you need something to happen, you are affirming its absence. And absence gets mirrored back to you. But when you trust, gently, patiently, fully, that your energy is already aligned with the desired outcome, the field shifts. Not from force, but from presence. Can you see how this reorients everything? We're trained to strive, to push, to prove. But in the sacred architecture of existence, manifestation is more like tuning into a station than building a signal from scratch. You don't construct the song, you tune your spirit to receive it. You don't command reality, you resonate with it. You become aligned. So the real work isn't to get what you desire. It's to become who you must be in order to receive it. This is where consciousness becomes more than theory. It becomes embodiment. You begin to think thoughts rooted in love. Speak words that align with truth. Move in harmony with abundance. Not as pretense, but as practice. Until it becomes natural. Ask yourself, what thought would I need to embrace right now if my dream were already fulfilled? Hold that thought. Let it settle into your body. Breathe it in. This is how transformation begins, from the inside with softness. We often imagine change must be dramatic and loud. But in the divine rhythm of the universe, real change is subtle. It happens through being. A shift in sight, a breath held with reverence, a heart quietly surrendered. You don't need to force yourself into a new reality. You only need to stop rehearsing the energy of your old one. This is the practice. Daily awareness. Compassionate observation of your thoughts, not to control them, but to listen. To ask, is this thought aligned with the reality I choose to live in? If not, you gently choose again. Lovingly. Consistently. This isn't about ignoring pain. It's about being honest with it. It's about realizing that most of what limits us doesn't come from life itself, but from how we've been trained to perceive it. Change your perception, and your energy shifts. Change your energy, and your signal changes. Change the signal, and the field responds. Not someday. No. So what happens when your inner world is anchored in love, hope, and divine possibility? The outer world begins to echo that inner peace. People react differently. Doors open. What seemed like coincidence becomes confirmation. And life begins to flow, not because the universe has changed, but because you have. This is not magic. This is mastery. And it begins the moment you stop chasing outcomes and instead become the kind of soul to whom blessings are drawn naturally. The field doesn't reward force. It resonates with clarity. And clarity begins when you select thoughts that align with your true self and release the beliefs that once protected you but now limit you. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not late. You are learning to remember who you truly are. A radiant, conscious being, invited to co-create with a universe sustained by infinite wisdom and boundless love. And the more you honor that truth, the more life will reflect it. Not with thunder or lightning, but with light. There is a softer path to transformation. One that doesn't require you to push harder, perform more, or endlessly fix yourself. It is the path of sacred surrender. A soft but profound redirection of your energy, your awareness, your presence. In this space, transformation is not forced, it is allowed. Most of us have been conditioned to believe change comes through effort, striving, and struggle. But what if the deepest shifts don't arrive through force, but through letting go? Let's be clear. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means releasing resistance. It is the moment you stop trying to control every outcome and begin to trust the divine intelligence woven into the fabric of existence. It's the conscious decision to move with the current of life, not against it. When you align your intention, not as a demand, but as a direction, you begin to walk in rhythm with the wisdom of creation. You become receptive, responsive, attuned, and the field recognizes this harmony. This resonance begins to subtly reshape everything around you. Have you noticed how clarity flows when you're at peace? How love feels closer and answers arrive without effort? That's not chance, it's alignment. When your nervous system is calm, it synchronizes your heart and mind. This coherence radiates a stable signal, and the universe responds to that frequency. It moves toward it like water toward open earth. So why do we still push? Because we fear release. We fear that if we stop grasping, we'll lose everything. But the paradox is simple. The moment you stop chasing life is often the moment life begins moving toward you. Letting go clears the distortion. You stop injecting fear into your signal. And that clarity, simple, trusting, unburdened, becomes magnetic in the divine field. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about being present with what is, while still creating space for what may be. This is the art of intentional softness. You set a course, not from urgency, but from reverence. You whisper to the field, I trust this vision. I align with this frequency. I am open to receive it, however and whenever it is meant. Then you return to the breath, to the present, to the sacred rhythm. Ask yourself, where in my life am I still forcing what longs to unfold? This question opens a sacred doorway. It shows you where energy has become tight, resistant, contracted. And in that recognition, transformation quietly begins. Shifting your life gently is not weakness. It is powerful tenderness. It is surrendered strength. It is choosing to believe in beauty even when you can't yet see it. It's holding your frequency steady when doubt shouts for evidence. It's staying anchored when the old self wants to react. And it's in this devotion, this moment-by-moment calibration, that intention becomes embodiment. The truth is, you don't need to do more. You need to align more deeply. To do that, you return again and again to the resonance of your future self. You ask, how would I feel if it was already done? How would I act if I knew it was unfolding now? How would I speak if I were already free? And then you live from that energy. Not to fake it, but to claim it. This is the essence of graceful transformation. You don't force reality to bend. You become the one for whom this reality is already true. Every breath, every choice, every word becomes a seed planted in the timeline you wish to walk. You stop waiting for the world to shift. You become the shift. In this space, life flows, not because it's perfect, but because your energy is purified. You stop swinging between trust and fear. You dwell in alignment. And alignment is power. You begin to notice meaningful patterns. You attract people who mirror your new frequency. Ideas come, not as thoughts, but as memories of truth already known. And most of all, you feel light. Not because all your challenges are gone, but because you've stopped carrying resistance. Can you allow life to astonish you? Can you release the need to know how and trust that the path is already being formed through your energy? This is not avoidance. This is the highest form of responsibility, not over outer action, but over inner alignment. It means waking each day and asking, what am I vibrating right now? It means choosing again when you slip, especially when you slip. Sacred transformation is not linear. Some days are clear, others heavy, but the practice remains. Return to presence, return to intention, return to trust. And the universe responds, not with thunder, but with whispers, with gentle affirmations, with quiet miracles that say, Yes, this is working. Yes, you are co-creating. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are simply remembering who you really are. And when you finally rest in that remembrance, life begins to reorder itself, gently, lovingly, unshakably. When you live from divine alignment, not just understanding it, but embodying it, you step into a new rhythm, one that feels less like reaction and more like revelation, less like pressure and more like participation. Living from the field means you no longer build from the past. You build from presence, anchored in the unseen, energized by the real. You become a bridge between the invisible and the visible, between who you were and who you are now becoming. You walk not just as a person, but as a presence. And that presence transforms what it touches. People sense something in you, a peace, a clarity, a warmth, not from your words, but from your being. You no longer need to impress, persuade, or prove. You simply exist. And that authenticity draws all things unto you. Because when you live from alignment, you don't chase life. You harmonize with it. You speak, move, and breathe from the frequency of what you've chosen to embody. And alignment isn't perfection. It's integrity. Living from the field means noticing the slip and gently returning. It means catching a limiting thought and holding it in presence. It means feeling fear and still choosing trust. It isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Because each time you choose coherence over chaos, love over doubt, you polish the signal. You refine the resonance. You step into the future now. Let's ground this into your daily life. What does it look like to live from sacred alignment? It means beginning your day with connection, not control. It means asking your heart, not just your planner, what wants to be created today. It means pausing to breathe between moments. It means letting go of urgency because you trust divine timing. It means drawing boundaries not out of fear, but out of love. It means honoring your inner guidance, even before it makes sense. It means offering your dreams from devotion, not desperation. It means choosing to feel the energy of your fulfilled vision, even if your outer world hasn't caught up yet. And when it hasn't, you don't spiral, you recalibrate. Because you understand, the outer is a delayed mirror. It needs time to reflect what the soul has already declared. But you don't wait for proof. You become it. This is the path of energetic truthfulness. When difficulties come, and they will, you don't collapse into old loops. You ask, what is this showing me about my energy? When delays arise, you don't fall into despair. You remind yourself, everything is unfolding in my favor, even if I don't yet see how. When things go still, you don't panic. You remember, sometimes, life rearranges in silence. You stop measuring progress by outcomes and start measuring it by who you are becoming. And then the miracle unfolds. As your frequency stabilizes, so does your world. The right people, the aligned opportunities, the graceful invitations begin to appear, not through effort, but through availability. You no longer chase them. You receive them, because you become open to them. Ask yourself now, am I willing to live as though my highest possibility is already blooming? This is not a game of pretend. It is an act of becoming. To live as though love is already yours, as though abundance is already flowing, as though peace is already your foundation. Because it is. Beneath the fear, beneath the stories, beneath the noise, it always has been. Living from divine alignment is not a technique. It is a way of existing, a return to original essence, a devotion to the unseen, a trust in the whisper before the shout. And the more you live from this sacred frequency, the more you'll discover a different kind of security. Not the kind based in outcomes, but the kind anchored in truth. You stop seeking external guarantees. You realize you are the guarantee. You stop needing life to convince you. You are the evidence. You stop trying to manifest to feel whole. You understand wholeness is your starting point. And this is where the deepest beauty begins. When you live from divine resonance, reality becomes soft. Not always simple, but sacred. Not always smooth, but alive. Because you are no longer creating from separation. You are creating from oneness. So I ask you now, what would it feel like to live from this space? To greet each moment not with fear, but with frequency? To show up not as someone chasing, but as someone remembering? To stop waiting for life to become miraculous, and instead start living miraculously? You already hold the divine blueprint. You already vibrate with sacred intention. You already are the signal. All that remains is to trust it.